When we add level 3 segments to the mix, general movements such as these are unlocked. Let's start with the horizontal action. A push-up is a classic example of an exercise that trains the movement of horizontal pushing. The training effect is actually caused by the opposing force that comes from the spreading of the scapula and the extending of the torso. Let's explore the top position first. When you allow the scapula to spread all the way out, a slouching effect can occur because the scapula follows the natural curve of the torso. This is because of the concave on convex relationship of the scapula and the ribcage. In this pose, for example, the pushing muscles are drawing the cup-shaped scapula into the curved-shaped surface of the ribcage. Think of it as tipping a barrel to pour out the contents. Note that both the scapula and the torso are favoring the front chain, which gives us this rounded posture. Now this is a good way to bring the muscle insertion into the origin point, but the real tension occurs when the torso extends and essentially acts as a counterbalance that also brings the origin point closer to the insertion. It's as if the two segments are sandwiching each other. Not only do the arms draw into the chest, which can cause this excessive slouching, the torso also extends to make sure the muscle squeezes with as much tension as possible. When done correctly, the contracted position should challenge the pushing muscles like the pectorals and even the stratus. How then do we control these opposing actions? Pushing against the floor through the hands would prompt the pushing muscles to activate, but make sure that the barrel doesn't spill by favoring only the front chain. Ensure that the feet counterbalances by tipping the body forward to prompt the extension of the torso. In other words, the arms push back and the feet tip forward, with the main goal of squeezing the pushing muscles. That being said, let's move on to the stretching phase of the exercise. The stretch phase still uses the same arrangements we've set up earlier, but this time, instead of screwing the arms in or hugging the barrel, we want to screw the arms out as if bending an unbreakable bar to prompt the external rotation of the arms. Initiating external rotation throws off the balance established earlier when the focus was on squeezing in. The further separation of the insertion and origin point challenges the pushing muscles further by forcing it to contract under a stretched position. That's to show how the entire movement relies heavily on the primary level segments, because what we really just did was focus on cueing the counterbalancing action of protraction and core extension. From there, we prompt the arms to move away from internal rotation in the top position by cueing external rotation in the stretch phase. If the muscles of levels 1 to 3 are proficient enough, then the rest of the segments such as the elbows and wrists need little to no cueing, which shows why segment hierarchies exist. Subscribe to stay in the loop.